every day there's a new report that isn't really a report. Let me read you the latest report, and I want to get your take on where things currently stand. This is according to Jordan Schultz, who has 300,000 followers on Twitter. Sources: the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk had another meeting yesterday, and talks continue to progress on a long-term contract extension. There has been movement on a deal, but there are some minor details that still need to be ironed out with ownership approval. What do you think, Dad?
Movement sounds like a bowel movement.
Movement?
That's about what they've achieved so far.
Yeah.
The breaking news is that someone had a bowel movement.
Yeah. Wash their hands. Feels a lot lighter. Better.
Look, I think we can say certain things for sure. Nothing has been finalized.
No.
And a lot of time has gone by, and nothing has been finalized. That's for sure. Either they're going to trade him or they're going to sign him. That's for sure. What I'm feeling is, and we've discussed this privately, it feels now like a battle of egos.
Yep.
The Niners don't want him to get over on them.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want the Niners to get over on them. And it's degenerated into something personal. And what I would say is a plague on both their houses, which is a paraphrase from Romeo and Juliet. Mercutio said it, and you played Mercutio when you were how old? 11?
12. I belted that line. Remember that?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
A plague on both your... Oh, Maddie's over there. I don't want to do that. Maddie's podcasting. But I was 12, and I had a lot of emotion. I emoted very well, and I got stabbed to death on stage. Mercutio.
So Maddie's in the same room as you?
He's over there. Usually I'm on that side, but he beat me to that side, so I'm on the left side today. I'm kind of upset about it, but it's actually the same exact backdrop, so I'll let it slide this one time.
Okay. I have other things to say.
Okay.
2 other points, if I can remember them. What concerns me about Aiyuk, what kind of football shape is he in?
Yep.
Wherever he goes, you never see him working out. Where's he doing the workouts? He's not allowed to work, or he won't allow himself to work out with the team. He seems to hang around like a loiterer, or you don't see him. So is there some other football team? Is he down with Stanford, playing with Stanford, or with the Cal team, or San Jose State? Where's he doing his running and keeping his legs in shape and weightlifting and catching passes? How ready is he going to be when this thing starts?
Maybe he's working on his golf game. That's what I've been doing.
You're allowed. And the other thing, Iggy, and we never really talk about him, it's all Aiyuk. What about Trent Williams?
Right.
They haven't worked anything out with him either. Where is he practicing? Is he with the San Jose State team?
No, it was actually reported that he's at home playing golf. That was reported.
Okay. So, okay. And look, he's a Hall of Fame player. Perhaps he is so good. He can just come in from the golf course and be the best left tackle in the league right away. But Iggy, I'm skeptical of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's one other thing I want to say. I'm coming back to Aiyuk. And as a journalist, I would have to say, this is the most poorly reported story in a long time, Iggy. Maybe ever. And I'm talking reputable journalists. I'm going to say Adam Schefter. Now, because he's the best. And Adam Schefter, I have tremendous respect for. It seems like it's a moving target and things keep changing. Now, Schefter, I want to tell you something interesting about him. He used to be a real journalist. He worked for a paper in Denver. And you don't know this, but Schefter's parents went to Penn State with Ira Miller.
Wow.
And did you know that?
Wow.
Schefter's parents went to Penn State with Ira.
Was Ira at Schefter's bar mitzvah?
I don't know. He may have been at Schefter's bar mitzvah.
He might have been at Schefter's bar mitzvah.
I'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Because, Iggy, you know that Ira is coming to stay with me next week.
I do know that.
He's flying out from Chicago, the legendary 49ers writer, and my dear friend Ira is going to be here, and we will ask him, Iggy, if he was at Schefter's bar mitzvah. So what I'm saying is I'm not putting Schefter down because he's the best. But this is an impossible story to report. It's impossible. And maybe people should have waited a while.
It seems like it's the number one story in football or up there. And so you have so much to gain financially by saying something about it or having information about it. And all these people who are paid to have information have none. And so every couple of days, someone else says, I have an update. It's a fluid situation. No one really knows what's happening. Like, that's not an update. I heard from sources that no one knows what's happening. Like, well, I could have told you that. So that's part of it.
Okay, let's do an update and then finish what you were going to say. Give an update right now.
Okay, hold on. I'm hearing from multiple sources right now, Dad, that this could go any number of directions. That's what people are telling me. One more thing. You said that it feels personal between the Niners and Aiyuk. It really does. It really does. And you wonder, like, we only know 5% of what really happens on a team. How long has it been personal between Aiyuk and the 49ers? It seems like he's had his little grudge or grievance for years. I mean, again, when I took his mom out for dinner in Green Bay, like, the first thing she wanted to talk about was like, why did the coach put my son in the doghouse? I don't understand. He doesn't understand. So there's been some type of disconnect for years with them. And now it's finally Ayuk's turn to say, like, you need to bend the knee to me. And the Niners are like, absolutely freaking not. You bend it to us. And he's like, no. So I think it's kind of interesting.
It is kind of interesting, and I do think it's personal. For example, I don't think the Trent Williams is personal. No, I don't feel that at all. But this is because Aiyuk cannot control himself. That's how agitated he seems to be.
Yeah, of all the players on the team, it seems like he's one who could really actually be happy not being here. I think the Niners are like, you don't really want to go to Pittsburgh, right? Like, they're not that good. You want to be with us. And he's thinking, I would love to play for Mike Tomlin. I respect Mike Tomlin. I don't know if I want to play for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he wouldn't be the first player who had mixed feelings about Kyle Shanahan. It seemed like Jimmy Ward had the same mixed feelings, and now he's on a different team.
It's perhaps, let's just say with Ward, it's a hypothetical. We don't know for sure. Is that fair enough, Iggy?
He did seem to say that he didn't like the way he was benched by Kyle Shanahan his last year, and he had to go straight to him, and they had a conversation, and Kyle said, you can either play nickel or ride the bench, and Jimmy said, cool, put me on the bench. I'll be the best special teamer you got. And he said that with a smile.
And that's what Jimmy told you?
That's what Jimmy said publicly. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle. You can bench me. I'll be the best special teamer you got. You can have a $10 million guy on special teams and tell that to ownership. And Kyle backed off.
Wow. Jimmy Ward. You know, Iggy, there are very few players that exist today that I would like to have covered.
Yeah.
God, would I like, oh, God, would I love to have covered Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it would have been a blast.
Agree. All right, last thing on Ike, then we'll move on to Brock. It feels like, it is personal. It's been reported that the Steelers have offered a little less than $28 million, and the Niners have offered close to the Steelers' offer. So it seems like Aiyuk says, no, you have to match it. And the Niners are like, no, we're going to come close, but not match it. And again, that's all ego. Like, we don't want to go the final 5%. You go It's like when you see someone in a room and you refuse to walk over to them. Like, no, you have to walk to me. It's that kind of power trip. And they're like 5 feet away from each other.
Right. And can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing to witness.
That's the main point here. It's embarrassing for both sides. Like,
right.
The Niners can try to act like Ayuk's being immature. They're being equally immature.
Right. I don't take a side. A plague on both their houses.
Yep. I love it. All right. Enough BA for today. When there's another report in 30 minutes, we'll talk about that non-report.